Like you, I remember being frustrated with social media. There's so many different platforms. Not that long ago, I only had 47 YouTube subscribers. Now I've got nearly 40,000. And it all came from A, setting a goal, and then B, learning what I needed to learn. If you as a business owner are struggling with LinkedIn, it's an amazing tool for businesses. This session is going to teach you exactly what you need to do to become a master of LinkedIn, and start with setting yourself a goal to get at least 500 connections. Let's go. I'm Gary Ryan, and in partnership with Alison Wheeler, we are 10X Business Program Series Down Under. And our job is to help Australian and New Zealand businesses grow and thrive and be successful using Grant Cardone's 10X material. Both Alison and I are the only 10X elite coaches, which means Grant sends us his clients to coach from all over the world, and we're the only two outside of North America. So right at home here in Australia and New Zealand, you have direct access to Alison and myself to help you grow your business. So let's get into helping you with LinkedIn so you can become a master. And what was that goal again? Yes, it's to ensure that you've got at least 500 connections. Let's get into the content. So this is LinkedIn Success, a guide for business owners. And once again, I'm Gary Ryan on behalf of Alison Wheeler and myself from 10X Business Program. The first thing you need to do is you need to optimize your profile for visibility. We've just got mine up here. The first thing you need to do is make sure you have a profile picture. A couple of quick things with that. Honestly, your mobile phone is absolutely usable to take a decent profile photo. Make sure it's head and shoulders. And if you are taking it with your own phone or getting someone else to do it, just make sure that the light is coming over their shoulder so you're looking to where the light is. Overcast days are great for creating decent enough looking profile photos. Now, you also want to create a background. You can get onto Canva, and it has a whole range of templates that you can easily use to create your LinkedIn background. Next, you've got your headline. You notice it talks about me being a certified 10X Elite business coach. I'm using some emojis in there to help with being a 6-time best-selling author, high-performance culture coach, human-centered leadership, 39,000 plus YouTube subscribers, and I'm letting people know right away a little bit about myself with my 5 kids. You can do whatever you like in there, but you've got a few options with some clear key words in order to be able to explain in a very short way who you are and what you do. Now, one of the things that people don't realize is you've got this opportunity for a custom URL. When you first sign up for LinkedIn, you get an alphanumerical URL. And all you've got to do is click on that button and you can edit it and see if you can get your name. Now, despite being an early adopter to LinkedIn way back in 2009, my name, which is a very common Irish name, Gary Ryan, was already taken. So I went for Gary Ryan 1. I'd probably use my middle initial if I was to ever do this again, but given the size of my following, etc., I've never changed that. But see if you can get your name, some combination of your name. It might be first name, middle name, last name, first name, middle letter, last name. It could be reversing your names around, whatever way you can. So at least it makes it look super professional. Sometimes people add in their organization's name with their name in that space too. And you want to make sure that all of the things here are kept up to date. So, for example, recently I just had another bestseller. Previously, I had 5 times best-selling author. So once I got another bestseller, I updated that to be a 6-time best-selling author. They're just some of the examples of what keeping up to date means. Now, you need to craft a compelling about section for you. So you need to have an introduction. Start with who you are, your current role, and what your business does. You want to have your value proposition. Clearly state what problems you solve for your clients and how your services and products can help them succeed. You want to speak in the first person. One of the things that's different to a resume with LinkedIn and your profile here is you are representing yourself as a person. So it's a person-to-person relationship that we're using this platform to start to establish. That's why you speak in the first person. Mention some achievements. You've got a limited number of characters. It's quite a few thousand that you can utilize in that description, but keep it clear and concise, but definitely mention any notable successes, awards, or metrics that highlight your expertise, and have a call to action. Invite people to connect or to reach out if they're interested in learning more or doing business with you. In my case, my call to action is for people to book a strategy call with me, a free strategy call. So here's an example here. As the founder of your business, I specialize in providing tailored marketing solutions for small businesses that lead to measurable growth. With over 10 years of experience and a proven track record of increasing client revenue by 20% year over year, I am passionate about helping companies achieve their potential. Let's connect to discuss how we can drive your business forward. That's just a simple template you can use to have a compelling About You section in your profile. Now, you need to list your experience and skills. This is where you literally go in and add in all the various skills and experience that you've done. So you've got that there. You can see what happens is that people can endorse you for your experience and skills. And that is really powerful to have those endorsements. Now, while they're probably not as powerful as they once were, they do matter for you getting to all-star status within the LinkedIn algorithms. And that matters for you popping on people's feeds. So it's something to strongly consider adding those endorsements. Now, you want to highlight your relevant roles, emphasize some measurable outcomes, and add at least 5 skills and keep it updated. You can have up to 50 skills that you can select at any one point in time. So think about what are the core skills and who could you encourage within your network to go and endorse you for those skills. Those numbers matter, especially when someone starts to do some research. This is when it really matters. From day to day, it might not seem like it matters, but it's when people start to do some research on you. Really, what is your standing in the community? And they go, wow, you got 99 plus endorsements for the Disruption Leadership Matters online course. It must be a good course. Rightly or wrongly, that's how our world works from a social proof perspective. So you want to build up that social proof as much as you can. Now, one of the ways to get endorsements is to give endorsements on the skills of other people within your network. So when you're starting to build your profile, just spend a couple of minutes going through people that are in your connections, look for their skill sets on their profiles and endorse them for their skills. They'll be really appreciative, and you'll get the law of reciprocity happening, and many of them will do the same for you. Building your network. Now, you want to have, as we said, at least 500 connections. So you want to build your connections. You want to reach at least 50 very quickly, and then aim, as I've said, right at the outset for that goal of 500. And don't stop there. Just keep growing your network. You want attention from as many people as possible. Now, what I argue strongly is that you should always personalize your connection requests. Mention someone, for example, that might be a shared connection. Hi, I've noticed that you and I both got Gary Ryan as a shared connection. I'd love to join your network. Always personalize it and always make it about them. Never ever say to someone, I want you to join my network, because now that flips it and makes it all about me. We don't want to make it all about me. We want to make it all about them. They're going to be far more likely to bring and accept you into their network if you're making it about them rather than me. And certainly never try to sell anything in your connection request. Also, when someone does connect with you, always send them a personalized thank you message. Just say, thank you for connecting. I really appreciate it. I look forward to supporting your activity. As simple as that, right? You can use that thank you message verbatim. I do encourage you to not use LinkedIn's AI-generated conversational prompts, because the issue there is everyone knows they're AI-generated. Everyone knows you just went click with your thumb. Now, they are better than nothing, but it's far better. You really separate yourself when it becomes obvious you've actually spent 30 seconds thinking about your actual message for this person. Now, you may have actually copied and pasted your own message and just changed the name. Yeah, you might have done that, but it's not going to look like that to them, because it's going to look like you actually bothered to spend some time, which at some point in time you actually did. So I strongly recommend you to do that. So, hi, I notice we both work in such and such an industry and share connections with mutual connection. Now, always, if you do have mutual connections, at least mention one of them. And I'd love to connect and learn more about your experience with whatever the relevant topic might be. It might be one that you might want to get in conversation with them at some point. So this is how to build your network. Use those secondary connections as a great starting place to grow your numbers. Now, you want to be consistent with your posting and engagement, okay? You want to get really consistent here. This is where a lot of people fail, right? They don't actually post, or they don't get any engagement with their connections on LinkedIn. So post at least once a day with 5-hour gaps between your posts. So unlike some of the other platforms where you can do a lot of posts very quickly after each other, LinkedIn's algorithms don't work like that. You need at least a 5-hour gap between your posting. You want to have a meaningful engagement with other people's posts. So, it can be as simple as you can see here, whereas Jackie has posted about a new role. Notice how I've written a personalized statement there. I haven't just said congrats, Jackie, like everyone else does. I've made it personal. Congrats. Great news, Jackie Bloom. Here's wishing you 10x success in your new role with a couple of emojis at the end. That takes, again, 15, 20 seconds to actually do, but it shows Jackie when she sees that, hey, Gary Ryan actually spent a few seconds doing that. Now, over time, she might start to notice that 10x stuff and start wondering, what is that? What is that 10x stuff? I keep seeing that with Gary. What is it? And get curious. And then that can lead to who knows what over time. Okay. So engage meaningfully with other people's posts and watch your notifications, which we'll focus on right now. You want to use the notifications to stay engaged. Your app will tell you when certain people are posting. It will tell you when they've got a celebration of some sort. Use that to guide your focus and energy in terms of engaging with other people's activities. Look, obviously you can be doing searching for different topics, etc. on LinkedIn. We encourage you to do that, but this is a really simple way, just a few minutes a day, to stay engaged and again to be seen as a human being on a digital platform. So the power of direct messages, right? You want to use direct messages. Now, one of the things that you might not be aware is you can use this send function at the bottom of one of your posts to actually bring attention via a direct message to people within your network about an article or a post that you've done. It's a very, very powerful tool. So you've got that send function that pops up next to you've got like, comment, repost, or send. Now, you'll actually have the option, you can send it to quite a lot of people at the same time, but we encourage you to actually personalize each of those messages. So if you've got a couple of people maybe that know each other already, you might send it to them at the same time and let them know about this particular post. It's a great way to get some higher engagement with your posts, but also make people aware of what you're doing. Now, you also might want to do that from the perspective of making sure that someone gets to see some content that you believe will be useful and relevant for them. So this isn't about pushing a sale necessarily. It's just about raising people's awareness of some material that you have that you believe would be useful for them, which is why a lot of your posts are best done if they are actually educationally focused. You're teaching something, one thing, two things in your post, sharing something that will be useful. And every once out of 6 posts or so, then you're actually trying to promote something to sell to people. So definitely build relationships before you start direct messaging. If you just connect with someone and then the first thing they do, I can promise this is what I do. If someone connects with me and then the first thing they do is try to sell me something, I just like, okay, hide. Right. It's like, meeting someone for the first time and saying, hi, we just met. Do you want to come home with me? That's not going to work, right? So it's exactly the same. Think about it in that similar context. We need to get to know each other a little bit first before we start asking for things. So you can highlight posts, events, or updates and send them directly, as I've said. Personalize every message. And as I've said this multiple times now, try to avoid using the AI prompts. And you can send those posts and articles as a direct message. Certainly, you can direct message invitations to events. You can direct message if they say something that relates to a service that you offer. Hey, I noticed. So, for example, with this post here, I'm asking people if they'd like to learn how to create ebooks in just a 2-week time frame and become an author and probably be a best-selling author, and to pop the word yes. Someone saw that and they actually direct messaged me and said, hey, Gary, I saw your post about that. I didn't publicly say yes because I don't want people to know that I am thinking about writing this book, but I wanted to let you know that my answer is in fact yes. So I've been able to store that information as more people are saying yes. So by the way, if that's something you would like to know, please make sure that you direct message me or send me a message, an email, or however you'd like to do that, so that you can let me know that you would actually like to know some information about how can you learn how to publish an ebook in less than 2 weeks from scratch. Recommendations and endorsements. This is something that people have was once upon a time a really big thing on LinkedIn. It still is from an algorithm point of view, and it certainly is when people are searching for people and their reputation, but it's less obvious now because it sort of happens more in the background than it once did. So this is where you endorse skills for your connections. We've already spoken about that, but you want to give recommendations. So you can see here on the given recommendations, I've actually got 126 recommendations that I've given over time. You can see Alison Wheeler and Brian here, both colleagues of mine. And you establish the power of reciprocity by doing these recommendations. You see, once someone accepts your recommendation, LinkedIn actually asks them on your behalf, would you like to give Gary a recommendation back? Now, I'm not saying that that's the reason to do it. It's just that if you do want to get recommendations, give them to get them. They're most likely going to come back. And of course, you can directly ask people to give you a recommendation. But to be fair, I'd only be doing that with people that you've already given a recommendation to, okay? So recommendations are like a reference. They're far more powerful than an endorsement. That's the power in a recommendation. Again, someone's actually had to stop and think and actually write something a bit extensive on there for you. And why not recommend each other within a group? And we certainly encourage that in the 10X Business Coaches Down Under series group mentoring program, where the members can support and endorse each other on LinkedIn and certainly the other social media platforms. So following companies and thought leaders. Follow companies relevant to your industry. It's really simple to go searching for them and just click the follow button. That means that their posts will pop up on your feed, and also any opportunities for work that might be there. If you're open to work, they'll also pop up for you to become aware of. So it's really well worth doing that. Now, when you're running a business, you might think, well, why would I want to be aware of any work? There are some jobs out there, particularly in IT, etc., where maybe your business could provide consulting services that the job is asking someone to apply for, especially if you notice that there's not a lot of applications happening for that particular job. Maybe there'd be an opportunity there to contact the person who advertised the job via LinkedIn and say, hey, I noticed that you got this job advertised. I noticed that it hasn't closed. Looks like you might be struggling. I actually do that, and I can provide that service to you as a consultant. Now, that's something I bet you've never thought of before. Certainly engage with content from thought leaders and peers. And again, you can share that, you can comment on it and like other people. It's a great way for you to get to be known for your expertise. So, growing your network on LinkedIn, maintaining and growing your LinkedIn page, right? So, you want to go to where it says for business, and then it says create a company page. So definitely create a company page for yourself. That gives you the opportunity to do updates from that page, but then you can like your page's updates. Your page can like your updates. You can repost your page's updates. Your company page can repost your updates. And all of a sudden you get this little system going where you're actually getting some activity and some focus happening, even though you are effectively both of those entities on LinkedIn. Why not do it? It's pretty simple. It's also just getting another way, another avenue for you getting some attention. Certainly comment and engage with your own company's content and engage with followers actively. Create a newsletter. This allows you to post long form articles of about 500 words. You can include media like YouTube links so that that's also helping that channel and it'll play automatically. But also when someone subscribes to your LinkedIn newsletter, they actually get sent an email as well at the same time. So they get sent this email and that goes straight into their inbox telling them about your article. So you've got not only the LinkedIn platform where it gets posted, but you've got every subscriber also getting that direct message about your newsletter. It's a great way effectively to have a blog. So you want to stick to a regular schedule to build your audience engagement with your newsletter. And you also have a unique URL for that newsletter article that you can share via email in your email signature and or any other social media platform if you want to bring people's attention to the content of that article. All of this is pretty simple and doable. You can be doing it right now too. So, would you like to know the top 5 mistakes with LinkedIn? The first one is not using LinkedIn at all. That is a mistake, people. If you don't use it, you're wasting a great opportunity for your business. So that's the first mistake. The second mistake is inviting others to join your network. So your messaging to them at the very start is, I would like you, Gary, to join my network. You're making it all about yourself. When you do that, people feel a little bit icky and you start that human connection the wrong way. So that's a big mistake to avoid. Trying to sell immediately after connecting. We spoke briefly about that earlier. So if someone connects with you, they say yes. And the first thing you do is say, hey, buy this from me. Book me in for this. Like, it's just like, oh, really? It's way too soon. Okay. Yes, definitely do that at a point in time. It might be 4, 5, 6 weeks down the track. You can start to look at that, but not straight away. You got to give it a little bit of time, folks. Got to get to know each other. They need to see that you've actually supported their activity first before you start trying to do that. Now, only using LinkedIn's AI generated comments. Again, I've already sort of mentioned that. I would encourage you not to always use them. If you've got no other option just because of time, yes. But if you can personalize them, it's going to be far better because again, what are we trying to build here, people? That's exactly right. Person-to-person relationships using LinkedIn as the platform to do that because all business is ultimately person-to-person. Now, not growing your connections, not looking for people to connect with, not reaching out and sending connection requests, not leveraging that secondary connection process that we talked about earlier is a big mistake. And that's the top 5 mistakes with LinkedIn, folks. So the very last tip is this. LinkedIn is a long-term strategy. It's a bit like if you've ever been camping and the fire's been going all day and you've got this great wood sitting on that fire late at night and it's really pumping out heat. So even though there's not a lot of flame, that fire, that campfire is really hot and there's plenty of heat coming out of it. Great for cooking damper and all sorts of things in those coals, right? Well, that's what LinkedIn is like. It's a strategy that if you're regular and using it, just as I've explained, once you've spent about half an hour, 45 minutes getting yourself set up, just aim for 10, maximum 15 minutes a day. You don't need to spend a heap of time on LinkedIn. But if you follow all those instructions and tips that we've given you here in this presentation, you will find that LinkedIn will heat up for you and you will start getting that energy and business opportunities from LinkedIn, just like I have, and Allison too. So once again, I'm Gary Ryan from the 10X Business Coaches Down Under Series Group Mentoring Program. Please check the link below to learn more about our group mentoring program where we can help you for the lowest investment that you can imagine to grow and explode your business so that you end up creating the very business you've always dreamed of. Bye.